Hi guys, have you ever tried to grow onions only to have huge disappointment when you actually go to harvest them? So this is my third year growing onions. I'm pretty happy with what I got, but I still want some big ones. My first year I got onions like this. My second year, more like this. And then this year, got some pretty good sized onions, but I really want some of those really big, colossal 1-pounders. So I found a new technique this spring that I want to try for this fall for next year's season. And I'm going to share that with you today, where we can plant our onions in August for a harvest next spring. I'd like to welcome you to my backyard Kentucky homestead. My name is Kim. Let's get started. So just a little bit about the life cycle of onions. They are a biennial, which means they will start from seed 1 year, and then they will bulb up that first year. The second year, they will then go to create a flower, go to seed. They call it bolting. So what will happen if you buy sets in the store is that the grower pulled the onion when it was about this size, put it into a dormant phase, and then you plant that. And then the second year, you're more likely to get the onion bolting than you are to get a really good size onion. Now, all of these I started from seed, so you'll still get some really small ones. But, these are pretty good size. But what if we could do more? So I saw on Johnny Select Seeds website that there were 3 particular onion types that said they could be planted in August and overwintered for really big, huge bulbs next year. And one of you actually, I mentioned this in an earlier video, and one of you said that you've actually seen it be successful down to zone 5. So as long as your temperatures don't get below -10, this should be good. We will want to make sure that we mulch really well and even add some row cover to the bed if it gets really, really cold for a sustained period of time. But onions are pretty hardy and they can sustain quite a bit of cold weather. There are 3 types of onions. There are short day, intermediate day, and long day. For my area, I have my longest through June into July is just shy of 15 hours. So I primarily focus on indeterminate onions, but also some long day onions. Now, if you have the right onions for your area, the bigger bulbs you're going to get. So the intermediate day are probably going to be the best for my area, but we're gonna mix a few in there. So there were 3 varieties of onions listed on Johnny's as really good for overwintering. Again, as long as you don't have below -10 degrees Fahrenheit. The first one is Walla Walla, which is a long day onion. The second one is a candy onion, which is indeterminate. And the third one was Bridger. To all of these 3 grew this year and are in here somewhere. My onions kind of got mixed up because I had some issues with them falling over and how they were harvested, and it was all a thing, which I will talk about in another video. But we're going to go ahead and plant these 3 for next year. Because we can experiment and we want to, we're going to go ahead and plant a few other varieties. We're going to go ahead and plant Scout, which I also planted this year, which is, I believe, an indeterminate. I think the rest of these are indeterminate. Patterson, maybe long day. Patterson, Red Geneva, White Sweet Spanish, Elsa Craig, which is a long day, Avalon, which I have not grown before, and then and then the Red Flat of Italy, which is an indeterminate, and the Utah Sweet Spanish Onion, which is also a long day. So we're going to give all of these a try, and we're going to hedge our bets because, I've not done this before, but we're going to go ahead and plant all of these seeds today. We're going to go ahead and plant them out into the garden in October, and then around Christmas time, I'm going to go ahead and plant more onions. So we'll need to keep the ones that we are starting today in a separate area from the ones that we'll be planting in Christmas time frame. And see how they do. We'll do a comparison. Very long-term experiment, but it'll be great. So let's get planting. So in the past, I've used some type of cell tray for the onions. Might do a few in one, might do a whole bunch in one, but they didn't really grow that big before I got them outside. Now last year I had a big container that I just threw a whole bunch of seeds in. They grew like crazy. And what I think, this is my guess, and what I'm going to go with for this experiment also, is that they don't they need a lot more lateral space to spread out. They don't care if they're all entwined with each other and you pull them apart. It doesn't affect them at all. But they want to have that lateral space to really reach out. And when you're using a smaller cell like this, or even the small ones, they just don't have that lateral space to like stretch their legs and get really big. So we're gonna go with just flat trays. I've got labels on each one. So I'm gonna do Bridger on this side, Scout on this side, Walla Walla, Candy. And then for the ones that I'm really not sure about, we're gonna do a few last, and we're gonna do 4 per container. And what I'm using, normally I would use seed starting mix, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use, it's really light potting soil from Menards. I'm sorry about my voice. I'm having some serious allergy issues right now. Oh, it is a super light, fluffy mixture. So it should be really good, and it will also give them any of the nutrients that they need once they do sprout. So let's start with the Walla Walla. And what I'm going to do is just sprinkle them around this section here. And I may go ahead and buy from Dixondale Farms again, because those are really nice seedlings. And I'm really wondering if this is not what they're doing. Okay. See, I think it's a 1/4 of an inch deep, so we're going to put some soil on top, and then we will water that in. Yeah, gotta make a mess. Okay, so that's Walla Walla, and on this side we're going to do Candy. So this soil has been indoors all summer. It is very dry out of the bag. So I did pre-moisten the soil that's on the bottom, and then we'll go ahead and water these in on the top as well. I've got another, I'm gonna go ahead and do all of them. I've got another package of these. So one thing that they say with onion seeds is that they are good for about a year. After about a year, the germination rate drops, but not always, because I had a whole bunch of seeds from 22, 23, and 24 that I planted in this big container. I had hundreds of onions. So don't throw them away. If they're older, try to plant them. This would be actually a great way to use up older seeds, because if you lose them, or if they don't sprout, you haven't really lost anything, because you still have the normal season of starting in the winter and planting out in the early spring. Okay, so we got Candy, and Walla Walla, or like everyone else says, Candy and Walla Walla. And then we're going to do Bridger, which is a hybrid yellow onion. Now I'm going to do about half of this. I don't have any more Bridger for this season. And that is quite a few. So we'll go ahead. Hopefully this should make a lot of onion, and I still have a fair number in the package. So then we'll still have some more to plant for next spring. Okay, so Walla Walla and Candy are empty. Bridger is not. So we'll put that one back into the inventory. And then we need Scout. I'll do about half of what I've got. And I can't really see these seeds. They blend in with this. I can see them a little bit, but I just broadcast sowing them. And like I said, they don't mind growing close to each other, but I think they need a lot more root space to grow well. The next 8 were not recommended as ones that would winter over, but we're going to go ahead and try it anyway, because why not? Alright, so we did Patterson, we need Cipollini, which is actually an older seed. 2022. So let's see if we get anything from this one. This is from 2022 seeds. And it's actually a short day onion, so this one may not work at all. Well, there's like 5 seeds in there. What the heck? Well, that's a bummer. I don't think I had any more of those. We're gonna do 2 of the Alsa Craig. So we're not gonna do Cipollina, we're gonna do 2 of the Alsa Craig. A-I-L-S-A Craig. Okay. These are supposed to be monstrous onions, but they're all cold tolerant, so there's a good chance that these will actually work. I'm super excited about trying it. So plant those there, and since we have the package open, we're gonna go ahead and do this one too, and just finish out that packet. Okay, so that one's empty. So also Craig Patterson, Flat of Italy. Okay, so this is Avalon. And this is not one that I've ever grown before. Okay. Patterson, also Craig, Flat of Italy, and Avalon. Go ahead and cover them. So we've already got the Alsa Craig. We need the white sweet Spanish onion. Okay, so Red Geneva is over here. Okay, and then Utah sweet yellow sweet Spanish. All right, we still have some of those. So in reserve, we have Utah sweet Spanish onion, Avalon, Red Flat of Italy, Scout, some candy that I've got in a different package, Walla Walla in a different package, and Bridger. We've used the Patterson, Alsa Craig, white sweet Spanish, Red Geneva, and Cipollini was empty, so it shouldn't have been in the case. All right, so we need a little bit of dirt on top of these. So we're gonna go ahead and get all of these watered in well. So there we go. We have started on our 2026 garden already in August of 2025. So I'm really excited about this. Like I said, we will let these grow up for about 8 weeks or so. So early October, we'll plant these out. A few weeks after that, we'll plant the garlic out, and then we will mulch those really well and make sure that they have protection that they need. We were expecting a cold winter again, but they should do really, really well, and we should have a really great crop. Next year, we need to make sure we water well, and everything's going to be on drip. It's going to be my number 1 priority next year is get everything on drip, and from the beginning, and then also fertilizing regularly. So that should help these along the way really, really well. We'll leave these indoors. They like to have a germination temperature of between 60 and 75 degrees or so. It is right now close to 100 outside. Just real temperature, so it's insanely hot. So I don't want to cook the seeds. We're going to leave those inside until they germinate. As soon as they germinate, I will put them outside, and that heat and the daylight outside will help them grow really, really fast. So if you're interested in more gardening videos, check this out. Until the next time, happy gardening, have a wonderful day, and bye. And next, we're going to plant up tomatoes and peppers and some stuff for in the indoor garden. So exciting. Anyway, have a great day. Bye.